All right. Perfect. Yeah. All right. So we should be popping up in a minute. Now, I want to make sure it's on the website because some people are gonna look on the website, and I want to make sure that's popping up. Which I think we good. Yeah, we good now. We on the website, popping up. So cool. How y'all doing?
Doing great, man.
Great.
Yeah. Doing good.
So, man, it's a pleasure to have the opportunity to talk to you talented individuals. Super excited. We got my girl T Woody on.
Yeah.
We got my guy Calvin.
Yes, sir.
Got past president and our first ever president.
Talk to him. Yeah, glad to be here though. Glad to be here.
Quill.
Yeah, glad to be here.
So,
man.
Yeah, so we're gonna get ready to get this thing started. So, man, just do some quick introductions, man. Talk to the people, tell them who you are, and what major you majored in, and what school you repping.
Okay, I started out.
Okay, cool.
My name. Sorry.
That's cool.
All right, my name is Calvin Gill Jr. I just graduated from Christian Brothers University with a degree in psychology, Bachelor of Arts. Ongoing, there's just it. Introduction.
Okay, yeah. So my name is Quill Brabham. I graduated from the University of Memphis with a sociology degree and a minor in chemistry, minor in aerospace studies, and a minor in biology. So.
Hey everybody.
Hey
everybody, my name is Taylor Woody. I'm still in school, trying to be like the two that just introduced themselves. I'm a senior public relations major at the University of Memphis, and I'm also the current 2020-2021 STS League president.
Woo!
Turn up.
Yeah, president. How you say president in the female version of president in Spanish? Presidenta?
We Madam President.
Oh, Madam President. There we go. Madam President. And we got one more person who'll be joining us, Miss Alondria Waller. She's at work right now. She kind of got tied up, so hey, that's what happens when y'all get these real jobs, making real money. So work comes first. So, so as soon as she jump in, we'll give her the floor to introduce herself. But man, we're gonna kick it off, man, with just taking it back. Let's do a flashback.
They ready for that,
2020. Man, look. Let's do a flashback real quick, man. Let's talk about, where are you from, first of all, and then how did you end up at the school that you graduated from ultimately?
Man, I'll start out. So I am a native here in Memphis, Tennessee, and I originally applied to actually go to Middle Tennessee State University, but during the time, a lot of stuff was going on. The mailing system was messed up, so I didn't get my acceptance letter on time. So over that entire summer, I was just trying to figure out, man, like, where can I go? I was accepted to a lot of schools, especially here within Memphis, but I kind of wanted to leave. But CBU eventually sent me.
Man.
Yeah. So CBU sent me an acceptance letter and just the entire breakdown of everything, man. Everything looked great. I actually went to one of my financial counselors with my church, and he told me, he said, man, CBU is probably the best option for you according to what they're offering, scholarships and everything. Then you're not too far from home. He said, so if something was to happen, you'll be able to go back. But I ain't planning on doing that. So I lived on campus my first year as a freshman. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got to CBU.
So mine is a little bit different. I'm originally born in Columbus, Mississippi. My dad was in the Air Force, so Air Force family, we moved to Jackson, Tennessee, where I earned the Air Force scholarship, which was a full ride that I got through the Air Force. And I could have chose anywhere, but my
All
sister.
right.
Oh yeah, my sister went to the University of Memphis, so I don't know. I always had the drive in me to like one up her or do what she did but do it better. So of course that's why I chose University of Memphis, because just like any other thing, I was like, my sister did it, I'm gonna do it and do it better. So that's why I chose University of Memphis.
Coco, shout out to Coco.
Shout out to Cozy.
Yeah, Coco. Coco was my partner when we was in school. We keep it tough. That's what's up. So take us back. I mean, Taylor, you want to ask about this first year of college, freshman year?
Okay, so let's go back to freshman year, y'all. Like, of course, like you go to class. Allegedly. Maybe you joined a few clubs. But did you go to the parties? How was your first party? What was it like?
Man.
You gonna go first? I don't know. They ready for my feelings.
You go first, man.
Man, my first party. I remember hearing stories about, first parties, like make sure you don't get too drunk, make sure doing anything like that. So my first party, I was kind of worried because my sister first party, she had a wreck and she didn't go to the party. So I had to make sure. I was like, okay, so my first party, I'm not gonna have a wreck. I'm not gonna drive too crazy. I'm gonna get there and get home safely so I can say, Mom, look, I'm better than my sister already. So my first party, like I just remember going in and just like being like a fly on the wall, just out on the outside looking in, because I'm not too big of a jumper in parties or anything like that. So I was really just kicking it the whole time. It didn't meet my expectations because I was expecting like what be on the movies. I was expecting all types of bells and whistles. I was expecting the fireworks in the room. I was expecting everything, but it was none of that. It's just a typical party. You're gonna hear music and you're gonna hear a group of people dancing, and then you're gonna see Greeks going around strolling. So that's pretty much all my first party pretty much was.
That's pretty cool. What about you, Calvin?
Man, mine actually came way earlier than I expected, because when I first got to CBU for that Welcome Back weekend, one of the IFC friends, they was like, man, they were just seeing a huge group of new freshmen we were just out, man, like on campus. And they was like, we're having this party, y'all come on through, this was gonna be. So I was like, man, like I don't really know, but the group of people I was around at the time, we all decided that, hey, we just gonna go together, we're gonna look out for each other. So, man, we got there, and as soon as we walked in, how y'all doing? Welcome to CBU, just yanking us in. They got playing Sky High. I'm like, man, like, what is this? It's different actually seeing it in person, because, I kind of expected, man, a whole lot of folks and a lot of people in the small space. So it did seem overcrowded or whatever, but, man, it was just different. It was just different. It was a cool little different experience, man. I would say that.
Yeah.
Everybody, all the freshmen, if you watching this, make sure you go to your first college party. It's a memorable moment that you gotta experience. So don't let nobody talk you out of that. Go there, get that moment, get that memory for real.
And make sure you be careful. Like be careful.
Be safe.
It's so much going on in one room. It's like, man, I'm the type of person, like, when I walk into a new environment, I like to scope everything out, just kind of see how everything is. And, man, like, they kind of didn't want to give me the opportunity. They wanted me to be right there in the middle of the fun, right then.
My dog was in there throwing balls, man, and in the box pit throwing balls. So, man, man, those first parties, man, man, memories that, man, you'll take with you, man, to the grave. Because some stuff you'll share. Some stuff, hey, can't nobody know what happened at the party. You had to be there, But what was it like going on campus? Man, Calvin, you went to Christian Brothers University. Quill, you went to University of Memphis. What was that first day like on campus?
So yeah, I go first. So my first day on campus, I just remember the night before, already having my fit, what I was gonna wear to class and wear around. I already had that laid out and ready. So I remember the first day, I made sure I went to the UC, which is the University Center. For those who don't know, we just like the big gathering for everyone. So I made sure I walked through there a couple times, made sure I was seen that day. But I don't know, I just remember being excited, just, finally realizing that I'm actually in college. Like I'm actually going to, I went to my classes, so I beat that myth. So everybody go to your classes your first day. It's not just a syllabus day. But I went to all my classes, and I don't know, I remember it, and I enjoyed my first day on campus.
Man, that whole night before, that whole Sunday night before, it just, man, that entire weekend was just full of events. Cause CBU, they have like College Welcome Back weekend, so it's always a lot going on. So man, that whole like first Sunday night, when it finally came, I was like, man, like I'm really about to do this. Like I'm really about to start a whole journey, starting from now up until, man, when I walk across the stage. I ain't get to do that, but when I graduate, and the very first class I went to was a Spanish class, and it was elementary Spanish, and I was like, man, this isn't too bad. It's not too bad, but the last few minutes of her giving us all the rules and fixing everything, she just started just throwing all this homework, and I was like, what is this? So I leave the class, and I had a break, so I made sure, because I knew all my friends, they were going to be in the caf. So I said, I'm going to go to the caf, I'm going to see everybody, and everybody just had, like, all of these, like, assignments and work, but everybody was still happy, though, for the most part, so that was good. But, man, like, just that first class, and then having that first break and seeing everybody, and then just seeing all the upperclassmen in one place, like, it just was, man, different. So, but a lot of people, just from Welcome Back weekend, like, they knew me kind of by name, because I, kind of went to a lot of the events and all of that. So it felt really good walking around, being a freshman on your first day, and having people familiar with you. So, yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
Definitely, I think that the first couple days, honestly, the first year is an experience in itself. I think a lot of that has to do with what your major is, and sometimes you make friends in your major. So how did you decide on your major, and what went into it? And did you change majors?
I stuck with psychology all throughout college. And I knew since high school, since my Manassas high school days, that I wanted to be a counselor or a psychologist or something of that nature, because I love talking to people. I love helping people figure out their problems. So, man, when I first got to TBU, I saw how intense the psychology program was and how, man, caring the professors was like right off the bat. So I had already knew, like, I would go talk to my advisor, and, man, like, she was like my second mom on campus. So I just, man, I enjoyed that time. It made it a whole lot more easier just being able to navigate through things. Because at CBU, they make sure that, they have us navigate through everything. When we had a first advisory meeting, like, hey, this is what we're going to be doing next semester. Semester after this is what the class is like. And the upperclassmen, they were really good on helping me kind of navigate through things too. Just being able to talk with them and all the research, the SONA studies, man, it was phenomenal being able to be a part of all that and see it. Yeah, like, I love my major.
Yeah, so
College.
I always knew that I wanted to be a dentist at an early age. So when I came into the University of Memphis, I chose biology as my major. Little as I already heard, biology was extremely hard towards the get-go. So when I actually did more research, I realized that you don't have it. As to be a dentist, it doesn't matter what your major is. So if you're going to med school or dental school, your major really doesn't matter. So in order to like take the most most advantage of that rule and take most advantage of that opportunity, I switched my major over to sociology, because it was actually something I was interested in, and I knew that I can advance my GPA more. So I chose sociology, but I kept the minors in chemistry and biology to satisfy dental school and satisfy those requirements. But going in, which I'll talk about more later, but it was hard for me to realize that, we'll come to the realization that biology wasn't going to be my major because it was kind of hard, you know, looking at that and okay, now I have to switch my major. Now I have to look at this and now, okay, maybe it's not a failure, but it's an opportunity for me to, you know, get closer to my dreams at a more efficient route. So, but yeah, that's how I chose my major.
It's all about those pivots.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, y'all said something that I think is key. You know, man, we thought about this collegiate roundtable. That wanted to share with friends, family, but also current STS members and just college students in general. And you guys dropped 2 gems just now that I think every college student should kind of pay attention to. Cal, the one you said that you had basically an advisor that became like a second mom to you. You had an advocate on campus that's gonna make sure Cal was doing what he's supposed to do. Like, man, that's something every student should find on campus. Like, whether it's a big or small campus, find that person that's bought into making sure you're going to be successful. It'll help out tremendously. And then Q, you found out that to get to be in the career field that you wanted to be in, you went in thinking you had to do this major. In reality, your major in undergrad didn't really matter as much, right? That as long as you had a plan to go to med school, that you can still pursue your dreams. And that's, again, understanding your career path and knowing that, make sure that you know what classes you really need to take, you know, because you put yourself through some biology and some of those sciences, you're like, bro, I could have saved some of them credits.
Yeah, that's
you know,
exactly
that GPA could have been, the GPA could have been stupid high, you know, so, and you kind of mentioned it already, but man, what was that class, you know, in college that shocked you that was like extremely hard? Like, you was like, man, this class ain't gonna make a break if I'm coming back next year. What was that class?
Okay, for me.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So for me, that class that really was my eye opener class was biology, because when I got a C out of that, it was like the first C I didn't have since. Yeah, it was the first thing I ever got. So that biology was like, okay, yeah, I'm in college now. But my actual hardest class was probably biochemistry. That was one that took a whole lot of willpower, a whole lot of praying in order for me to get that grade. So yeah, I'd probably say biochemistry was the hardest class.
Okay.
Man, I would say I took a class called biopsych, and it was one of the most challenging professors I've had to take at CBU. And man, it was a quiz at the beginning of every class. You come in late, you not counted for the quiz. And man, I'm not a morning person, so I would right when they start, and sometimes I'll miss it. Sometimes he'll feel bad for me and be like, man, just take it. And the questions, you know, they weren't too intense, but it just you really would have to pay attention in order to like get it, because he's really like strategic in the way he provides his quizzes and everything. And man, there was one midterm, one final. The rest of the class was just based off of like our brain model we had to create and participation. And it was just the layout of points, man. It just was, after missing so many of those quizzes, he drops the lowest 5 anyway. But after missing so many of those quizzes, it just was like, man, like this class, if I can just get out of here and do pretty good, I'll be fine. So end up passing that class. I was like, yeah, I got to work a little bit more harder, because it was intense.
Man, I just remember him saying him not being a morning person. I remember another class, chemistry. My advisor gave me an 8 a.m. chemistry. I did not know I wasn't a morning person until then. I would never, never. Well, that's me. I didn't know myself, so never. I would never again pick an 8 a.m. class. I'm done. Glad I'm done. But if I had the opportunity to go back, I would never pick an 8 a.m. class, because that was so terrible. Waking up at early morning at 7 a.m. to get there, and then I was in Air Force too, so I had to do PT and then come back, and then have to get ready for class. It was terrible. Then looking at modules, molecules, and all that. Versus
at 8 o'clock.
At 8 o'clock in the morning. Putting a test in front of your face at 8 a.m. And I would never do that again.
I think that what they said is really important. I think a lot of college is about finding yourself. So knowing that you don't have all the answers and knowing what your like strengths and weaknesses are will kind of change as you go through college. So let's talk about a little bit about these refund checks. What was the first thing that y'all bought with y'all refund check?
Oh,
When y'all got them, if you got them.
Ooh. My first refund check. What did I buy? I went to the mall and I bought a whole fit. I spent my whole refund check, my first one on the fit for one of the parties that was coming up. It was a waste too, because I don't even think I had those shoes on. It was like some maybe some loafers and a nice suit, but I think I done ruined the suit. Yeah, I don't know. Save your refund. Do not go out and spend that first refund. That was the worst decision I made, because I think after I got tired of campus food, I ain't know it was nothing else I could eat but that, because I just spent all my money. So that was terrible.
Man,
Hold on, you said you spent the whole refund check
on
the fit?
Nah, it was fresh though. I wish I could put pictures on it. It was a clean fit, but never again.
But it's gone. You don't know where it is. You was cute, but you were hungry. That works for you.
Exactly.
Man, my first one, I didn't buy no clothes. I think I went and bought a part from our car, and I bought some CBU stuff. So it was like some little, stuff they be having in the bookstore. I was like, man, because when I saw all that money, I was like, dude, like, this is too much. I'm probably gonna need this somewhere. Let me put this up, save it some type of way before I just, cause man, like when I start spending, that's it. So I had already knew, and my friend is like, man, you got your refund, cause they gonna make sure. Like, there's one thing about refund checks here. Everybody's gonna know, like, hey, one person gonna say, hey, like, I got my refund. Everybody gonna start checking their account, and that's the plan. Hey, this is what we gonna do when we get these refunds. But man, this one, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take care of my responsibilities first. But yeah, I don't have to, constantly, because I'm big on buying food. So at the time, I was just buying like fast food and stuff. So man, I was just eating out, man, every opportunity. So eventually, kind of dwindled down. But yeah.
T, what about you? What did you buy with your first refund check? What was yours like?
The first couple years I didn't get one. When I did get one, I paid my rent. I was actually quite responsible. I did eat out a lot though, but at least I paid my rent up.
Now, y'all so responsible, man. My first refund check, I bought some speakers. I would have got I got 212 in the truck. Hey, in the red Maxima, I had to get those speakers, man, to kick them.
Oh man,
that was essential.
Your refund was nice. I need that refund. Buy some speakers.
We were doing straight student loan, man. I didn't even know they were student loans at the time. I thought that was free money. So let me ask y'all this, man. After 4 or 5 years in college, man, what was the most memorable moment that you two have had? What's one moment that stands out the most of your entire college career?
You go first. Or you want me to go?
Yeah, you go ahead. I got it. It's a lot, man. It's a lot.
Yeah. So probably the most memorable moment in my collegiate career, I probably cannot just choose one. I probably have to choose two. So one of the moments that really stood out to me and it really resonates with me was finding a partner. So finding someone who can someone who helped me stay focused, someone who helped me who helped me maintain my level of efficiency and all that. So definitely finding love, and then also finding and then also the second one would definitely be probably pledging. So pledging my fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. So yeah, those two moments were definitely the most memorable. Like when I think back of what two things really shaped me and really helped mold me, is definitely finding myself through that fraternity, then also having a partner and realizing that I could be so much more effective and so much more like focused when I'm with that one person. So shout out to Diana. I know she watching, so shout out to her. But yeah, that was definitely my memorable moment.
Man, so shout out to the boo.
Yeah, you know, for real. No, but for real though, it was really, yeah, that's probably one of the most memorable moments that I got from being a part of, being at the University of Memphis was doing that. So,
Man, mine's a little bit dark. So I'll pick two as well. So my first one was I lost my hope, and it was the second semester of freshman year. And when I lost it, it was like, bro, like, cause a lot of upperclassmen have been telling me, you know, you got to stay on top of this, you got to stay on top of that, or you'll lose your scholarships. And I was like, yeah, you know, I was like, I hear y'all, man. I hear y'all. I'm gonna stay on top of everything. But it was that one class that I got to C in, she got to be in, and it really made me lose the scholarship. So I wasn't able to stay on campus for the next year. So that whole entire summer, man, it was just dark, man, because I was like, dude, like I can't stay on campus anymore. I got to go back home. Like, I'm not gonna be able to afford it. So that summer I had an internship with the city of Memphis. So down there I actually met someone that went to the University of Memphis. He was interning with me, and he was just inspiration for me, man, just encouraging me, telling me, hey, like, when you go back, stay on top of everything. So I came back, man, sophomore year, man, with like a vengeance. I was like, hey, like, I can't be playing. I got to come in. I got to get on top of this, because I know, like, if I'm going to fail, I'm going to learn from it. So that's just kind of how I took it. And the second thing, man, is I would say, man, probably just, I think the first big gig I had at CBU was doing this video for the opening of Rosa Deal. It was my freshman year, and the LaSallian fellows that was there at the time, it was Rakisha Gray and Taylor Flake. I don't know if they're watching it, but if y'all are, how y'all doing? But they really went to, and they requested for me to just be a part of it, and I really felt honored that they selected me, you know, because I guess they had saw something in me that I didn't see in myself at the time. So just being able to have the opportunity, it really kind of, you know, opened up a lot of doors for me at CBU. People was like, who is this, man? Like, you know, it was a great moment for me, especially then. So, yeah, like, I started out, like, losing that scholarship and doing that. It just was like, man, like, both of those experiences really just kind of helped make me the person I am now. So,
yeah.
Look, man, you said hope. I thought you were talking about, like, hope. Like, I lost all hope on life. I was like,
I mean, that's kind of the same. Hope. If you lose your hope, that's kind of losing your hope.
Yeah. I was torn
Yeah.
up, man. I was torn up because I really like being on campus, but when, you know, in retrospect, I think about it and I said, hey, like, it probably was best I moved off anyway, because I was able to focus more on myself and develop myself better as a person. So the process of doing that, man, is kind of why I'm here today, man. So I'm thankful for that.
Definitely, Calvin kind of already touched on it a little bit, how he was having trouble with his class and he lost one of his scholarships. But I want to ask, what was your most disappointing point in college? Calvin, I guess you could talk a little bit more about that class, and see if you can answer that question.
Yeah, so you go.
Well, the thing about that class, because that class was huge for me. I was doing the paper for it, and it's how I plagiarized it and everything. I didn't know how to cite my info, so at the time, but it just was, man, I really felt like, can I just do something to still keep my hope? Like, anything, like, can I do assignment? That was it. And I was like, it wasn't nothing I could do. And I emailed my professor at the time. I wasn't really hearing from him, you know, throughout that entire weekend, because he had let me know that Friday, like, hey, I found a lot of issues in your paper. And the thing was, I took the paper to him, let him review it, and he was like, it's fine. So, and I was like, man, I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
Man, so disappointing moments or moment?
Let's go with moment. If you have more than one, then you can go with two.
Nah, I think I'll just do one. So, probably the most disappointing moment. It's kind of similar to his. But so right after I was initiated into my fraternity, my grades suffered like tremendously. So I almost lost my Air Force scholarship. So I almost lost that. So having to go through military protocol of meeting with my commanders and having them kind of scold and kind of like it wasn't really scold, but it was just kind of like having them meet with them and then saying that I'm performing poorly and that they're looking at removing me from the program. So basically removing like my only means to pay for college. So me hearing that and me already with my kind of fear of failing. So me hearing that from them, and then on top of that, I got my parents on my case too, because they're like, okay, so if you don't have money for college, we're not gonna pay, and so it's gonna be hard for us. So it just literally took me to that point where it took me to a real low point where okay, I was at a stage where I'm cutting everything off. I'm cutting anything that's distracting me from reaching my goal. Anything of that sort. If you're not helping me go to my next stage and helping me become better and with my courses that are being productive to being a dentist, you got to get cut off. So that was a hard moment for me, but it was a learning experience because now I look at that as like nothing but an obstacle, and that's something that you can get over. So I don't look at it as what it was at the time. So it was a real disappointment, making me at a low point, making me feel like I didn't belong in a certain spot. But I use that now to remind me that, okay, yeah, as low as you felt then, you still got over, you graduated. So I look at it as like my overcoming story.
Yeah.
And
that's go ahead, Calvin. Go ahead.
Say like they're on that, like for everybody that's watching, like college students, all that, man, like it's gonna be so much stuff that's gonna happen in college, like good, bad, but it's really just gonna be based off of what you do, like how you see it, how you react to it, and man, how you continue to just keep on going. Cause man, like even with the good stuff, you can't just let all that go to your head. You gotta just keep on going. Cause man, it's the ultimate goal. It's just being like, hey, like I'm here for a reason. I'm here. I'm gonna get out, and I'm gonna go on and be successful in my career. So man, make no connections, and just keep on going despite all the stuff that's happening. Cause man, like we all experience failure in some type of way. So, man,
that's how you get back up.
Man. Yeah, man, y'all hit on some important stuff, and man, I think the good thing is, man, that you guys you learn from your mistakes and you allow that to you use that to kind of push you further, to where you are today. So man, that's so important. And it looks like we got Miss Alondria Waller get ready to join with us, like she's connected to her audio.
Yes.
You there? What's going on?
Yeah. Hey.
Look, you got that real job. Look, they switched it up on you.
I just ran in the house and just came in. I was like, oh God, I'm so late.
Hey, look, you good.
I just get up.
So real quick, Alondria, we've learned a lot from Calvin and Quill so far, but let's introduce the audience to you. So tell us your name, kind of where you're from, and kind of what was your major in school.
Okay, my name is Alondria Waller. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and I went to Christian Rose University, and I majored in engineering management, and I have a minor in business administration.
Okay. So people, you want to let's just get caught up real quick. We ain't got to ask all the questions, but let's give her 2 or 3 questions to get warmed up, Cause see, Quill and Calvin, they ready. So let's make sure she warmed up so she good.
Okay. What was it like your freshman year?
My freshman year, I really thought I knew what I was talking about. I really thought I had life just set, ready. Like I knew what I was going to do. And little did I know, I knew nothing. You know, you go in and you're like, okay, I think I know what I'm talking about. I think I know what class to take and all that. And I think I'm going to stick to this major for 4 years. But the exact opposite happened. So, yeah, my freshman year, it was a eye-opener, but it was a great experience, and I learned a lot. And it was a great year, though. You know, I did stick to my major for a little while, and then I changed. But my freshman year was great. I made good grades, came out with a 3.2 for my first year, so it was pretty good.
That's pretty good. What was your most memorable moment from college?
That's a good question. I guess it would be the internships that I gained from being in school, like the internships that I received from my career services. They really helped a lot, and they kind of put me in the right direction of where I wanted to go and where I wanted to be eventually when I graduated. So I think that's the most memorable thing from college, besides like homecoming and things like that. Besides the fun things, I think that was a big thing for me, because the internships that I received, they helped me to gain experience and to see what I like and what I don't like. So that was a big plus for me.
Definitely. So this last warm-up question I'm going to ask you is the question that we all just answered. And what was your most disappointing moment in college?
What was the question again?
What was your most disappointing moment in college?
Oh, that's great. That's a good question. I think my most disappointment was failing a class. Like for the first time, I failed a class. I failed calculus, and I thought that was just the end of the world. I started crying and everything. I thought I was devastated for real. It was a big disappointment for me, and I thought like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fail for like the rest of college. So I took that one pretty hard, but I learned sometimes you have to fail in order to succeed in the future. So yeah, that was a big disappointment for me, failing my first class.
And how did you overcome that? Did you have to retake the class? Did you get a different teacher?
Yeah, I actually retook the class 3 times, and I eventually got it, and I got out. So it was a struggle, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do to get to where you want to be. So calculus is not my friend, but I made it out, and you know, all you have to do is really ask for help. You know, math is not my strongest point, so I got a lot of tutoring. I asked a lot of questions. A lot of people were there to help me, so that's what kind of helped me get out of it. And then it kind of still built my confidence, because even though I failed, it made me want to push myself harder to do my very best in the future. So.
Call that perseverance, just keeping on pushing through, even though when things are going exactly how you planned them, how you wanted them to go, basically your way.
First party.
First party. You can't talk about that right
now. The first party I went to was the homecoming party that CBU has every year. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty fun. It was pretty good.
You talking about
that's all I gotta say about that.
Sophomore year. Which one did you go to? The one freshman year or sophomore year?
I went to all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. I was at that party too.
I did not miss a party. I went to all of them.
I did not miss a party. Okay.
We got to mark that one out.
But I mean, it's important. Like you do need to make sure you got a party, you have fun, but you still have to make sure you take care of business on top of that too. Definitely.
Yeah, I ain't do that, but yeah, that's the right idea.
That's what everybody watching should do. Make sure you have fun, but take care of business.
Yeah, for sure. Do that.
Man, the one thing that I'm just thinking about right now is, man, growth in adversity. You guys grew. You know, even though you went through a storm, you still grew. You know, and I think that's so important in life, that when life hits you, you know, I mean, as long as you got those seasons around, you put in work in, that sometimes well, not sometimes, all the time in life, it takes rain or a storm, you know, to really cultivate the talent that you have within you, you know, and the possibility and the potential that you guys have. So, I mean, that's awesome. Let me ask you this question right here. You know, what's one thing that you were unprepared for that you wish someone would have taught you before you went to school?
Time management.
Time management.
Huge for me, because I talked about earlier, those early classes, and what I failed to realize was, you know, hey, I can get the later classes, the 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m., but I would miss the event that I felt like I needed to be at in the evenings. So it was a lot about, man, just me just trying to learn how to manage time, and still to this day, like, it's still something that I'm like learning as we get older, because, man, it's just like things are gonna continue to happen, and you know, I gotta know how I want to like plan everything out. So, but that time management was major for me, especially as a freshman and like sophomore CBU, because I was missing a lot of stuff. People, man, where were you? I was in class, you know, I wasn't able to make it, and I just felt out a lot of stuff. So the time management was huge.
Yeah, so time management was probably the one I would have chosen. But just another one, prioritizing. I wish someone would have told me that, hey, when you go in, you have to learn how to prioritize different things. Because there was a lot of moments and a lot of like things where if I would have known going in that you don't have to do everything, you don't have to say, oh, this has to be done. But if you look at stuff from outside in, like a big picture, you do what has to be done first, and do what you love and do what you enjoy later. So, you know, I wish I would have known that coming in that I always remember your priorities.
Yeah.
I think for me, it would be to not be afraid to fail, because, you know, you're going to fail at something. You don't have to fail at everything, but don't be afraid of fear. Don't have that fear of failing, because there's only one way to go. Once you fall, there's only one way to go, and it's up. So right. I wish somebody would have told me, don't be fearful to fail, or don't take it so hard to where you're not able to get back up. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That's very true.
Y'all are dropping so many facts. Like, basically, you just need to keep pushing, like, regardless of what's going on. I think that's kind of like the overarching theme behind what everybody is really saying. Like, you're going to have fun. Some days it's going to be disappointing. It's going to be a roller coaster. It's going to be a ride. But basically just making sure that you keep going, all in all. So the next thing we're going to kind of touch on is talking about you guys' senior year. So if I know anything, you probably had 75% of a senior year. So I want to ask, how did COVID affect your senior year?
I start out again. Man, it was man. The last big event I was able to go to on campus was I was playing intramural basketball, and my team that I was playing with, we defeated the team we was playing against, and that was like huge for us. Like, they had beat us before and all of that, but we was like, man, we forward to the games and all the events and stuff that was coming up for CPU, and sudden, you know, everybody, Rose College, like, I think they were the first college to like shut down here in Memphis, right? Like, I could be wrong, but I remember it being Rose College. And when they shut down, I was like, yeah, I know CBU's gonna be right behind them, because you know, I was, and being able to make this transition in like in-person class and doing everything at home, you still had to get up at scheduled times and Zoom meetings. It just was difficult from like my room. Like, man, like this is my kids right here, video games right here. There's so much I could be doing, besides that. It just, but like being away from the actual environment, that was like huge to me. I was able to still, come out and take care of everything. So I'm blessed for that.
So my senior year, far as like life on campus and just like me as a senior, I think I was in quarantine mode before COVID because I was already trapped in the house, saying I wasn't going nowhere. So honestly, when COVID came around, I was just like, okay, well, I mean, I've been staying in the house, so it didn't really affect me as much. But I remember when the COVID came in, I was in Miami actually for spring break. So I remember coming back saying, okay, well, this is going to extend my spring break even more. But then when you realize that things are going to be canceled, such as like my commissioning ceremony for Air Force, and then the graduation was canceled. So I was just like, it is what it is.
Yeah, the transition from traditional class to online was very difficult for me. It took me like a good 2 weeks to actually get myself together and really focus on my work, because I don't like online classes like at all. Even when it was an option, I said no because I can't focus. So I had to kind of mentally prepare myself to, hey, you got to get your work done. This is your last semester. You need to buckle down. Like mentally, I was not there. I was there, in the house doing work, but my mind wasn't there. And so it was kind of difficult.
Uh-oh.
Oh, your sound went out.
Yeah, I think she went on mute.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, I think she went on mute.
Okay.
Yeah, but she may have to log back in. But I think she's gonna log back in. She's connected.
She's connecting to the audio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's connected to the audio. But yeah, that's a great question. We're gonna let Alondria, finish her statement. But then I most definitely want to ask you guys, man, how was it? Oh, let me get it in the room.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry, y'all. I had no
you
problem.
fine?
But yeah, it was a very difficult time for me because I really hate online classes. I ain't gonna lie, I hate it. But I had to get through it. I had to get through it and just do my absolute best. When I got it together, it went by a lot better. I went through it real bad, a lot better. So yeah, definitely a mind thing.
So Q, you a biology major. Let us find out that you knew about COVID before everybody didn't tell nobody. Let us find out.
Man.
Oh, no, man, I was already quarantined. I don't know.
Already quarantined.
I was already social distancing.
Beforehand.
But Alondria mentioned something about that change from in-person classes to online. What was that like? Transitioning from going to class, having to get up, get ready, walk to class, to now you can have class in the bed. Like, how was that transition?
Man, I fell asleep a couple times. I
feel you.
I was calling, and then I'll go to sleep. I'll go back to sleep.
A lot of for me personally, man, it was just I'm a better in-person learner, so like just watching somebody through a screen, you know, tell me all the objectives and rules and all of that, I was like, yeah, man, it's hard. To just sit here, it's already hard enough, like when you're actually in class, listening to 50-minute lectures in person. So just being at home and being comfortable, and yeah, it was hard. It was hard.
So freshman year Quill, online would have killed me. I would have probably failed every class because I was terrible at time management, terrible at prioritizing, terrible at all that. So, but actually, them classes switching to online, like I found it kind of easy because it was I have gotten so much better at like at staying on top of things, time management. I'm a big planner now, so I got better at saying, okay, so at this sort of time I'm gonna be doing this class, and this sort of time I'm gonna do the other class. So actually, it was kind of a smooth transition for me. And then on top of that, I already took most of my I already took all of my pre-dinner prerequisites, so I was just really taking stuff to finish out my major with.
Now, I would say, like, during that little process, I did have a group of friends that I would talk to every day, just like we were in person, like FaceTime or whatever. Yeah. And, you know, we would be doing, like, the same, you know, assignment stuff. So they would really push me and be like, hey, you know, this is dude? And I'm like, oh.
Yep.
So I would have to go back and check because due dates would come up a lot more faster. They like, yeah, this dude next Wednesday.
Yeah, and shout out to Chick.
So,
yeah, so I think that you guys kind of all had a little bit different experiences when it came from changing from like in person to online as far as school goes. But Calvin mentioned a little bit, he would call his friends and y'all kind of work together a little bit. What about your social life? So did y'all still hit y'all friends up? Y'all Zooming, you know, house parties? What was y'all doing? Or did y'all talk at all?
I told you I was already social distancing. No, I was already like my friends already knew that Quill wasn't coming out no more because Quill's trying to graduate and get out of here. Quill already did all the party and Quill did everything else. So don't hit me up for any fraternity business. Don't hit me up for anything. I'm in my room trying to get out. So yeah, my social life was none.
As far as my social life, me and my friends, we still like FaceTime and everything, but we didn't FaceTime every day or like we FaceTime maybe once a week because we had a lot of work to do. So we really didn't have time to talk for too long. So we would still communicate. Like we would text a lot. We did more texting than like FaceTime or anything, but you know, we were trying to get our work done because we were like, man, we need to work. Because if we get on the phone, who knows how long we're gonna be on the phone? We get sidetracked. Yeah, nah. We had to focus and really get down to business. So we came to an agreement like, hey, we need to work first and then play later. So
yeah.
Calvin?
Cool.
I mean, like I said, the people who I was in the mode, I was like, look, I'm gonna try to finish these assignments as fast as possible. Sometimes out, sometimes affected by, you know, doing other stuff besides my assignments in the house. You know, I had got to like playing the game and stuff. So I still would hear from them like in regards to this. So we still were having fun, you know. But as far as everybody else at CBU, you know, I would hear from them like sparingly, you know, here and there. That was good, but I actually disassociated myself from like social media, like Instagram, Facebook. I just kind of got off because I was like, man, I just don't want to see the continuation of this is the virus and this was on. So that's how I kind of disassociated myself. The Instagram, the Facebook. I still kept Snapchat though. Like me and Snapchat, we got a thing. I was like, but no, like for Facebook and I was like, I can't, because it just was a continuation of stuff, man. And I was just seeing, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So around about the time when everybody was about to graduate, I said, hey, I guess I'll get back on, you know, reconnect with people I ain't heard from in a while. And also during that time, I know CBU, the student leadership page, they had it to where the Greek, like every week, a Greek from a different organization, they'll let us have access to the page. And my fraternity, Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, I had that one day to just be able to just like let them know, about Alpha, about my chapter, New Way to chapter. Much love to us, man. And that was pretty good. We got a lot of good reactions from that. So yeah, CBU, they made sure they kept everybody engaged, and shout out to Miss Connie Beck, man, for just doing that, and CBU itself. So yeah.
Shout out to the Christian brother.
Yeah, shout out to CBU too. I like how you said you unplugged from social media a little bit. Well, it seems like a lot. Did either one of you guys unplug from social media also? Just a little bit of self-care when it became a lot for you?
It kind of just happened naturally. Like, it wasn't me saying I'm gonna unplug from social media, but like the older I got, the more, I stopped checking my Instagram, stopped checking stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know if it was me saying this because I have to focus in, but it was just like a kind of I didn't find entertainment in it anymore. So it just kind of happened naturally.
Yeah, I think I agree with Quill. Like, I guess the older you get, the more you're like, I don't really need to get on social media, but I want to, but I don't really need to anymore. And especially like for me, working out, I really don't have time to be on social media anymore. Like, I only have so much time in my day, and most of my day is spent at work. So when I get home, I don't want to do anything but eat and go to sleep and prepare myself for the next day. So social media, but I did have to take a break during quarantine because of, like what Calvin was saying, with all like COVID this and COVID that, like it's killing people. This many people are getting and catching it, yada yada yada. I had to take a break because that was a bit much for me, and I was like, they making it seem like there's no hope in the world. And I was like, I can't deal with that. That's too much. So I took a break too, and I mean, ever since then, it's kind of been like I'll get on there every once in a while, but at this point, like, I don't have time. So, yeah.
So one thing that you kind of lead us, but y'all just leading us right into our next questions. Like, so even to you at work. So, I mean, we've talked about the college year, senior year. All right, what are you guys doing now? What's next for each of you individuals? What's next? The way you working, and also, like, if you're going to be working somewhere, in what city, like, where you going to be at?
I'll go first again. Sports, my position with the Italian Volunteers program. So I'll be heading out to New York, July 29th. So I'll be leaving then, and our program starts on August 3rd. So I'll be working with high school students and just helping them with their development and career planning and all of that. So, man, I'm really looking forward to that because I'm like big on making sure, man, like we invest in like the people that's coming after us, like our future, the youth. So I'm really gonna get a chance to see how life is up there and leave my impact, and hopefully. So, yeah.
September, well, in a month, I'll be moving to Fayetteville, North Carolina, where I'll be serving as a second lieutenant in the Air Force. So I'll be doing that, and then for those 2 years, I'll be getting my master's in public health. And then I'll also be further preparing for dental school. So I'll be taking the DAT again. So I'll be like right now I'm doing a 3-month capital and DAT study plan. So that's pretty much what I'm doing now, and then what's going on next. So in my room right now studying, and then looking at flashcards and all that, again, further preparing for the DAT, and then also getting my bags packed and getting ready to move to North Carolina. So.
So as y'all can see, I moved to Spring Hill, Tennessee, and I work for a company called Forcia, and it is an automotive company where we produce doors for Ford, Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen. We recently just got a contract with Volkswagen, and I'm the master scheduler, so I have to make sure that we have enough inventory for everything, make sure we don't run out. And actually, I'm in this, the program is called Operations Development Program, so, and I have to be here for 3 years, so I'll be here for 3 years, essentially training to become a plant manager. So at the end of my 3 years, I can either become a manager or I can get my own plant. So that's what I'm doing, and yes, that's basically my work life right now, so yeah.
So it seems like everybody already has like their plan. So how is the job process to get to these opportunities that you're going to or already in? And how did it feel to secure the bag like that? Like be able to do this right out in college?
Man, it was a process because I went to the first orientation that they held at CBU in November, and going there and just being able to like see all of the previous volunteers and get a chance to meet them and like how invested everybody was into the program. Like it really kind of made me feel at home. And it was a big decision because I wanted to originally go straight back to graduate school and get my master's in counseling, but which I'm going to do that. But I said, man, like this opportunity is here, and I'm gonna take it. So I went through the steps to get it. They came from up north to interview me, and it just was the anticipation all was there because I will be emailing them. I was constantly reaching back out, letting them know that, hey, like this is how far I am on the application. This is what I'm, looking to do next. I'm really looking forward to meeting you guys. And, when I actually met with them, things just kind of flowed. And it felt, man, everything felt great, the opportunity. And when I finally got the acceptance, it was during a time when I needed to hear it because my uncle had just and it was the day of his wake. So I was in my room, I was getting ready, and I get the email and been accepted, forward to, the Zoom call. So that really, man, was like the motivation right there I needed, especially during that time because it was right when COVID and all this stuff was about to start hitting. So it felt really fulfilling. It felt like all my hard work had paid off. And just, man, through this entire process, I stayed in contact with them, asking them about, hey, like, what's going to be next, talking to some of the volunteers just already working. It's just, man, like a great, transition is smooth. And I'm looking forward to, man, just making that next big step, just going on up there.
So my process of becoming a second lieutenant in the Air Force was a long one. So it's actually a four-year program. So you have to do ROTC in college. This process was long. So all the 6 a.m. workouts, going to basic training for a month, and then finally, being finished and finally graduating, just to be capped out to have a virtual commissioning. But it turned out good. So I was excited. My sister actually commissioned me into the military, so it was an actual it was a good moment. So it's something I'm gonna always remember. Commissioning through FaceTime via with my sister and getting my medals like that, and just being able to use the Air Force, serve my country, using them to pay for my master's school, and then I'm also contracted for them to pay for my dental school. Just like using that as a tool. I think a lot of more people should like look into it and learn more about how you can use military to pay for those expenses of college, because not a lot of people are able. A lot of people like us are able to afford those things. So yeah, it was an exciting moment nonetheless to do all that.
So I had my interview. Well, let me back up a little bit. The recruiter who emailed me. She actually got my information from LinkedIn, and she just messaged me on LinkedIn and said, "Hey, I think you would be great for our program. Would you consider applying?" So I said, "Yeah, sure." So I applied for the program. I had the interview like a month before COVID started hitting. So I came down here to Spring Hill, had the interview. Interview went well, and I didn't follow up consistently with the recruiter, but, I called her to see, how things were going, emailed her, and she was like, "Yeah, we were very impressed with your interview, and just look for, our email with your offer letter." So I was at home getting ready to go to my internship when I actually got the offer letter. So I was in the living room and I was eating cereal. I remember the exact moment. But I was eating cereal. And when I got the letter and when the lady called me, when the recruiter called me, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is really happening." And my mom was just looking at me like, "What's wrong?" And I told her, like, "Hey, I just got offered the job and this and the other. I get to move." And she's excited. I'm excited. I go to work excited. And it was a great day. It was a good day. And I was like, my hard work paid off. It wasn't just tireless nights for nothing. Like, all of this paid off, all this work, all this planning and everything. Like, it really paid off. So I was super excited to get the news and be able to move out here and just start my career. And I'm excited. And the other thing about the company is that we're required to actually go back to school for our master's. So I have to go back to school and get my master's degree, but it's fully paid by my company. So I'm excited about it.
That's great.
Wow. Man, one, this awesome. Just being able to graduate college and know what your next steps are. It's a comforter. It makes you feel confident. It brings you a different level of peace, when you know exactly what's next.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask y'all this. So, what do you think sealed the deal for you, like, for the company that offered it, and even for you, going through ROTC, like, what do you think sealed the deal for you to land the opportunity that you guys are pursuing next?
I would say staying connected, because especially during times like right now, it's good enough to just like your interest and do everything that's required, but just taking the extra step and saying, "Hey, I'm really interested in what you're providing," and them reciprocating that same energy, it just helps out a whole lot. So I was saying, man, like, definitely stay connected and just go get it. I mean, if you see it, go get it. You just got to lose.
I think for me, my thing was that they're giving me an opportunity to gain experience, to become something even better than what I'm getting experience in. So, like, I'm I'm doing master scheduling work, but I'm working to become a manager or a plant manager. So the fact that they're investing so much in me to see me go become even better than where I came in, that kind of sealed the deal for me. And I was like, okay, they want to see me further my education. They want me to grow in the company, and they're taking those steps in order for me to succeed. So I felt like, okay, this is the right step for me. And then, like, the diversity of the company was like another seal, because it's not just majority Caucasian or majority Black. It's a big mix of diverse cultures, and it's not the same thing every day. So that was a big plus for me.
So what sealed the deal, I guess, in the Air Force terms? I mean, definitely my father being in the Air Force was a big reason, and then also with Air Force, my father being in the Air Force, and then also them paying for dental school. I mean, that's them paying my master's in dental school. That was a deal sealer.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, has changed a lot because of COVID, but now you're adults, like adults. So now you're adulting. So how has your life changed since you started adulting, or has it changed?
Life is totally different. I got bills.
Yeah.
Like rent bills. I got rent. I gotta pay electricity. So yeah, it's definitely different. But I'm embracing this new change into adulthood because it's like now I'm learning and I'm being more responsible. It's a lot though. Like at first I was like, man, this life is ghetto. Like,
paying bills is ghetto.
Oh man.
Get me out of here. But honestly, it really hasn't been that bad. It's been really cool. Especially moving out to a city where I don't know anybody. Like I'm here by myself. So it's like, whew, that was an eye opener within itself. So it's been pretty cool, keeping up with everything, making sure I stay on top of my bills. That hasn't really been a big thing because I've always been good with money. So, but it's different when you getting the light bill. So I cut all my lights off. None of my lights. I turn the air off, everything, nothing.
Yeah, you definitely provide a lot of encouragement, and in regards to moving to a new place and all of that. Yeah. But as right now, things are kind of slow motion for me. So, like I said, like when I actually leave, it's gonna be it. I'll be out there on my own. Everything will be taken care of, though. Like where I'm staying, what I eat, transportation. So, that's a blessing. But in regards to just the experience of being completely by myself, like I've never been away like from home for like this because I'll be with them for a year. So being away from home completely by myself for that amount of time is huge. So yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much the same as Cal. Adult life is, I'm definitely noticing like a lot more responsibility, but I haven't moved to North Carolina yet. So when I move, then I'll see more of those different areas of responsibility. But as far as like mentality, I feel like that was probably the biggest thing to embrace with adulting is like changing your mentality on certain things. So I definitely look at things a whole lot different now. Like I look at things like how is this going to affect me mentally, spiritually, and physically. Like I look at things I look at every aspect of anything that I involve myself in. I look at it in that type of eye and that type of mindset. So I don't know, but as far as adults life, I mean, I do feel old. When I listen to the radio, I don't know any songs. I don't know. It took me a while to realize what TikTok was. So I do feel like adult life is. I do feel old, if anything.
Oh man.
I've always on social media lately, and a kid had written that somebody was born in the late 90s. And I was just like, are we getting old?
Man, I feel old now.
Yeah. we getting up there.
Especially seeing, like, yeah. You do get that point. I've been feeling that way for a while, though, so.
Yeah.
Kind of man old and out because it's just so much. Like college put you through so much, man. And yeah.
I mean, y'all funny. Y'all say y'all feel old. Golly, I don't know what that makes me mean. But so since y'all rich, y'all finna be rich now. When you get that first check, like, are you gonna ball out? And then, like, what are some of those purchases that you're looking forward to making since y'all rich, got jobs now? How y'all gonna deal with that?
I ain't treated like my refund. My first check, I didn't treat it like my refund. I learned from that. But the first big thing I bought a MacBook, so MacBook Pro. So that's still a $2,000 expense, but I mean, but it's something I'm looking at stuff that I can need. I'm trying to manage my money like well, so I'm trying to have like multiple streams of income and do all of that. So most anything I do has okay. So how can I make a profit off this using this laptop, or how can this benefit? So I'm definitely looking at things in a whole lot different mindset than managing money and all that. Way better than the refund days. Way better than the days.
It's similar to me because I feel like it depends at that time. Like when I really just get sick and I see it, I feel like it's gonna be depending like on the time on what I feel like I'm gonna need. And obviously it's gonna be something I know that hey, like I'm gonna need this. It's gonna have to be something I feel like I'm going to be like, yeah, it's gonna benefit me. So, cause those splurging days, man.
Yeah.
Man.
That was my first check. I actually did splurge. Well, but it was for a good reason. I didn't have any furniture. I didn't have any furniture, so I had to buy furniture. So that was more of I had to buy more than I wanted to buy, in my opinion. You know, so I had to buy furniture. So yeah. Furniture was my biggest thing, but I look forward to like making an expensive purse type of transaction type thing. Like I want a Louis Vuitton, so I think I'm gonna buy one. I think
ball out.
Fancy, huh?
Louis Vuitton. Hey, look, she done bought that new leather couch. Man, look, that leather sectional. Man,
I did
big
not
money.
know couches.
You gotta have somewhere to sit the person first.
I did not know furniture was so expensive. I said,
Man.
It's how much? It's how much? You gotta be kidding me.
I said the same
I don't
thing.
even want it. I don't even want it. We're gonna sit on the floor.
I'm gonna get a futon. I promise
Man.
I promise.
Turn that futon.
you. That's all.
Oh, no.
Like, no, Wayfair. Wayfair.
Definitely. Well, that kind of brings us into our next question. And it is, what has been the most surprising part of being an adult? Alondra, I know you said furniture is expensive. What about you guys?
Yeah.
So the most surprising thing?
Yeah.
Ooh. Man.
Nah. You go.
You want to go?
No, you go.
But I was just going to say, like, just realizing, man, that it's, because I would say when you're, like, younger, like, in college, it's kind of like you can play the broke college student role. Like, hey, I'm broke. I need this, you know. I cash out, you know, all that. You can play that role. But growing up and becoming now, you have to play that role for somebody else. And I feel like that. Just thinking like, man, like I'm gonna have to be there for somebody else, you know. And I had no problem with it. It's just like a huge like transition because just last year, like I'm like, man, like I'm just trying to make it, you know, try to manage everything, make sure my car's still running, make sure I can get the classes, get the places, get the events, get the work, you know. So, but now it's like, yeah, it's on me. It's on me.
Yeah, probably like that's probably the biggest surprise. I remember driving and I remember just like going to a deep thought, like things really cost money. Like we really got to pay for food. So all this stuff started coming in. Like when I drive, okay, so I'm really driving on gas right now. This ain't no refund. Ain't nothing coming. All this is my money that's being spent. So yeah, that's probably the biggest surprise that things actually cost money. That was.
Yeah, I highly agree with that. I don't even eat out during the week. I eat at home during the week, and I eat out on the weekend. Cause I don't. It's just something about the weekend. I'm like, I'm not gonna cook anything. I just cook all week. I'm gonna just eat out on the weekend. Yeah, that's definitely true.
Man, that's amazing, and I know Taylor and everybody that's watching, everybody that's listening. Man, we're excited for you, man. We're rooting for you. Man, y'all know the motto of STS, making excellence the norm, man. We know that you guys are gonna do some amazing things, you know. So real quick, man, tell us in 5 years, you know, where do you guys see yourself? You know, in 5 years, where is Alondria, Calvin, and Q?
I'll start out again.
All right, go ahead, man.
Man, you go ahead.
All right, so in 5 years, I'm grateful that my journey doesn't end after undergrad. So in 5 years, I see myself. Wow, I am going to be going into my 3rd year of dental school. So steps closer to becoming a dentist, and then also still serving in the Air Force. So just in 5 years, I see myself one more step closer to becoming an Air Force dentist.
I'll go next. 5 years from now. So I myself will maybe be like, I know I'll be pursuing my master's in counseling. So wherever that's going to be at the time, because I have the option with the program now, I can qualify to have like my graduate school paid for and everything. So after, I plan on being in graduate school maybe 2 to 3 years, you know, however long it takes for me to get out of there. But I plan on having my license and my place of practice, and then getting my own place of revenue to where I can be able to practice from there. So, yeah, probably just like fresh out, just starting.
In 5 years, I see myself owning my own plant, being a plant manager, and having a master's degree. So I'm going back to school to get my degree in engineering management again, just my master's in it. Yeah, I'll be another degree under my belt and having my own plant and producing my own goods in my plant. So that's where I see myself.
That's pretty cool. I think that all in all, you guys are just growing, and we're just really excited to see where you guys go. Because this year you guys graduate, and then there'll be people after you and people after you, and you guys are setting the standard and making excellence the norm. Is just like we talked about in a lot of our bio, and a lot of stuff that we actually do, of course. So my question is, what was your STS Elite experience like?
Man, my first experience with STS, it was during the event that we like have in April, the panel actually, and like showing up and going there, I was like, man, it's a lot of successful people around, and I want to be a part of it. So like joining and just coming to like all the meetings, man, like, you know, being close to Journey, everybody, it was great. It was great to have, man, people be able to push you, gonna throw you these opportunities. It's up to you if you're gonna catch me. So being able to have like everybody was held responsible for, you know, showing up and keeping their duties and being involved and participating to try to say that the opportunities weren't there. So it was, man, amazing for me. And like all the preparation and stuff, like the interview preparation and all of it, it eventually helped me, you know, doing my interviews and, you know, helped me to be able to manage time. Like all of those sessions like actually meant something. So yeah.
Yeah, so my STS experience is definitely something I'm gonna remember forever, but mainly because I feel like through STS like was the first time where I had somebody, which is Jeremy, I had someone who like believed in my dream just as much as I do. Like somebody who said, okay, you said you want to be a dentist. I'll get you some dentists that you can shadow. I can get you some dentists that you can go under and look and actually experience those things. So those little things like that is just, which is why, you know, I will always be, you know, indebted to STS, because those moments that I gained from shadowing did nothing but strengthen it, like encouraged me even more to chase after those dreams that I got. So yeah, my moment and experience in STS is something that like I'll never forget. So anybody out there, you know, make sure you join STS for sure.
Yeah, for me, STS, when I first went, it was like a different vibe. It was, you gonna make it, period. There was no question. There was no, doubt. There was no, oh, I don't think. No, it was, you're going to make it. We striving for excellence no matter what it takes. And I'm going to help you, you know, make a path so that you can get to where you're trying to go. I feel like STS was like a great program, especially for people who are trying to reach a goal, because STS, they make sure you reach your goal. You know, there is no excuse. And, you know, if you need help, all you got to do is reach out to Jeremy, to Alton, anybody. You know, they always there for you, whatever you need. They make themselves available. And I feel like as young people, we need that extra push so that we can go further, do better, and then pass that torch on to somebody else. So for the people out there who are in undergrad, definitely get involved with STS, because you don't know where that could take you. And, you know, for that, I'm always grateful to STS for being there, for being so supportive, for being that cheerleader, for being that coach, for helping me, you know, get through the interview processes, because that's one thing I look at. When I had my interview, it was a panel of people, but STS prepared me for that, because I had a panel interview when we had the mock interviews. So I feel like, you know, I'm forever grateful to STS, and I can't forget that moment. So, yeah.
Definitely.
Y'all gonna make me tear up, man. Hold on. Y'all gonna make me tear up.
Y'all already, I want to say y'all because y'all already graduated, but doing things that you're doing now, like y'all are the shining stars. Like y'all, you guys are the people that make STS great. Like y'all are the products of it. Y'all are the real, true testament to what we do and why we do it.
And man, Taylor's so funny. Like they took one question and answered like 5 on, like boom, 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 boom. Y'all like kept all the questions in one. Which is dope. You know, that's you know, man, just like Taylor said, y'all gonna be the stars. And when students look at what's possible, you know, man, we gonna say, man, look at Alondra, look at Calvin, look at Q. You know, y'all are gonna be the ones that we're gonna be putting in front of these students to show them what's possible. And I know we almost out of time, so we gotta get ready to kind of wrap it up. But you know, let me ask you this. You know, there are many organizations you can join. You know, there are so many out here, and you know, STS, we don't claim to be the best. You know, but I do know we got people that care, and we try to listen to the voice of the students and provide you what we think we can to help you get where you're trying to go. So, in your opinion, like what makes STS different, you know, from other organizations?
You actually have STS actually has leaders and people there that actually will support, and like I said earlier, like believe in your dream as much as more than you do. So when there's moments where you may fail the course and you may feel down about that, you'll still get a email from STS saying, hey, apply for this internship, or hey, apply for this here, email this dentist for this job shadowing. So those little moments like that, you're not getting that nowhere. You're not getting those reminders of this is your final destination, this is your final goal and your final milestone. So don't ever lose focus of that. You're not getting that from any organization, any RSO on campus, any of that. So that's what separates STS. You have people who actually care about your success and your dreams.
Man,
Yeah. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I keep doing it. So, STS, I feel like there's a lot of iron sharpening iron. And the reason why I say this, like they are really there to just be help and assist students and mentors, but they're also there to listen. And, you know, we can provide, you know, them with, you know, hey, like this is what's going on now, so they'll be able to know how to like address. So I like really feel like, man, like it's a lot of like so many like different leaders and everybody just working together to just, hey, like we're all trying to be successful, like no matter what the major is, like some type of opportunity for you to where you can get to where you want to go. I'm gonna connect you with somebody that's out there in the field. Like it may not be your exact field, like we're gonna get you close enough to where you can be successful because you know
like the family environment of STS really helps because it's so tight knit and close knit. Like everybody's family. It's not, oh, you're an outsider, you can't be here, or you feel left out or anything. They make it an atmosphere where it's family. So when you make that atmosphere, it invites people to be themselves and not to be afraid to shine or do whatever they have to do to be themselves. Like, it's a comfortable space. It's a safe space. So when you make that safe space, then you give people the opportunity to be their true selves. Because some people are not comfortable with being who they truly are in other organizations or other groups. So STS gives you the opportunity to blossom, to grow, and it gives you the opportunity to connect with other people who are in your field. Or if they don't know anybody that's in your field, they're going to find out. Like, they're going to get somebody. They're going to do whatever to get you to the right person that's meant to be with you. So, I feel like that's a really big thing, especially for me, because I'm a shy person sometimes. So to feel like I'm at home, I'm with my family, that makes a big difference.
Definitely. Everything that y'all touched on, like everything that STS is about. That's why I joined STS 3 years ago. STS is being with like-minded individuals that are ready to work. We're ready to help you excel, prepare you for what's coming next. Because that's really important, because a lot of people aren't ready for life after college, but going through STS, it really does prepare you for those opportunities. So, of course, if you'd like to be part of STS, make sure you come over to our website, which is stsenterprise.org, and you can nominate yourself, or you can have somebody nominate you, or you can also make sure that you nominate your friends, family members. You have to be a college student at Christian Rose, Southwest, Moreau, or University of Houston. Our cohort includes all of the colleges in Memphis. So you guys should definitely join us. We'll welcome you with open arms and just be ready to work. So,
Definitely.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, man, any shout outs? I mean, this has been I enjoyed myself. Like, I feel like I could talk to y'all for 2, 3, 4 more hours. Well, I know, look, y'all probably tired, y'all ready to eat, and I want to be respectful of y'all time. But, man, again, we talked about family. And, one thing that I know for sure is that, nobody gets to where they are by themselves. Like, you got family, you got people that's in your corner that stand behind you. And I love what you said, Long, like, you going to be successful. Like, no excuse, So, man, I want to give y'all an opportunity to give any shout-outs. This your BET Award, your opportunity to say, hey, look, we made it. But, man, feel free to give any shout-outs, that you may have, because it's so important, that family, that group of community that really help push you where you need to go. So this is your time to, man, give any shout-outs that you want to give.
Well, okay, I go first. I want to just send a shout out to my family, to my mom, to my grandma for investing in me, for just being there for me, and thank you to my friends. Shout out to Career Services at CBU, to all the whole staff, Kurt, Rogers, all of them, and also shout out to STS because I wouldn't be here without y'all. So yeah, shout out to y'all.
Okay, so shout out to the moms, shout out to my pops, shout out to my sister. Basically shout out to my family. Shout out to STS organization, of course, and then shout out to the Noops. Shout out to my brothers in Kappa Alpha Psi. You know what I'm saying? I made it. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to the class of 2020. We finally out. COVID couldn't stop us. We still did it. Then shout out to, of course, my girl. Shout out to her. Shout out to everybody, man. So make sure you follow us. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. follow my journey, then follow our journey. South Vibes, SOUFVIBEZ. Shout out to us.
Yeah, look.
It's my turn now, right? Shout out. I just want to thank God first and foremost for allowing us to be here and present, man, because be able to talk to everybody and all the opportunities that we got. Thank you. I want to thank, obviously, my family, my mom, dad, sisters, all my cousins, aunties, uncles. I want to thank CBU, like everybody that's, man, invested in me in CBU, believed in me, all my friends, my professor, my mom, Dr. Bird. The list just goes on and on. Mr. Blanker for marketing. I just want to thank everybody at CBU that is, man, opportunity to be all I can be. Definitely, yes, for this opportunity. Journey, like you just stopped. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to everybody. Like you said, class 2020. Just shout out, man. Like, I'm just thankful for it all. All my friends, man, that's been with me from elementary all the way up to now, middle school, all the way up to now. It just shout out to everybody, man. I don't want to start naming people because I'm going to forget somebody. My church. Thank you, Missionary Church. My pastor. I wouldn't be where I am without everybody, man. Everybody. So,
yeah. Cool. Taylor, you got some final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Thank you guys for taking time out of your new busy lives to just vibe with us. I think that it's just really important that you give back. It also shows that it's important to not only once you leave STS that you go on and do great things, but you make sure that you give back and you still reach back and connect with us. Even though y'all are moving like everywhere, y'all can still hop on Zoom with us and connect with us. And from the upcoming teams now, I say on behalf of them, I really appreciate you guys involving with us. So, thank you. And thank you, Jeremy, for giving me this opportunity to be on this.
Man, for sure, man. And thank y'all. I mean, man, one thing, it's one thing for us to believe in you guys, but it's another thing for you guys to believe in us as an organization. We're young, vibrant, innovative, sometimes aggravating and annoying at times. We want so much for you guys, but thank you for believing in us. I also want to thank our board of directors. I want to thank our co-founder and executive director, Alton Cryer. I want to thank the STS lead team, man. The lead team, we would not be possible to do the work that we do without the lead team and the coaches and the entire STS family. They help us do what we do. And guys, we rooting for you again. And we y'all the shining stars, man. Y'all the next wave of individuals, who we're gonna be telling our pimps to look at, to go Google Calvin, Q, and Alondria. So thank you guys for making excellence the norm and for being great and for trusting the process. And I know we'll continue to be in touch after this. Man, y'all family, y'all always welcome to pull up in the session anytime you want to. But again, thank you all for believing in us, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Most definitely. Thank you.
Cool. And with that being said, we're going to get ready to shut it down. Facebook Live. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us over the last, I guess, a little over an hour and a half.
Big shout out.
We're going to get ready to, big shout out to Facebook. And we're going to get ready to wrap it up. But man, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. And man, y'all know the motto, man. We do this, make it excellence and all.
Yes, sir.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Man, y'all
all right. Yes, sir.